Hi guys, now would you rather do a hobby that you know you can get paid in the long run, but you don't get paid at first? That's the only downside, but you still have to invest either money for equipment to be able to produce whatever you're doing, and you're doing it for free, but you love doing it, so it still makes you happy, but yet at the same time, it's like you do struggle to make a living. But would you work a job you hate for the rest of your life, but you're getting paid a lot of money to do it? Now, there are millionaires that are all they have is money, more money, more problems. That's what they always say, more money, more problems. Only rich people understand that metaphor, but it's just that sometimes I'll be at work and I'm like, I'm only here for the money, and it's like it's not enough to feed my kids. Like I'm 28, I don't have no kids, but like if I did have kids, I'd be struggling to afford them because I just don't get paid enough. And it's just like you can only do so much. Like you if you take the job seriously, like you work hard, you do everything that then whatever you're supposed to do, but like let's say you don't get paid, but you're struggling financially and you're doing everything, you're working over, what you're supposed to be getting. Eventually, you're going to feel down upon yourself. You're going to be like, man, why am I not getting paid as much as a manager is? But yet I'm working as hard as them. It's the same thing. It's just like most people, you ask them how they're feeling. Oh, I'm feeling all right. They're like, oh, I'm okay. They're like, oh, I ask them, oh, do you want to be here? They'll be like, nah, I don't want to be here. You ask them, hey, you want to stay longer? They're like, oh, hell no. I want to get up out of here as soon as possible. And it's like, as soon as it's time for them to clock out, like, they have the most beautiful smile on their face that you've never seen throughout the whole entire day dealing with customer interactions. I get it. Like, we I'm in a retail group where you have different ages. You have either people in their 40s working with you, you have people in your young 20s, you have people in your 30s working with you, and it seems like everybody has the same pattern, as in they're either too tired because their legs are hurting, or they've been dealing with somebody who has have given them attitude and they just don't appreciate the attitude. So it brings them their confidence down from doing the job with a smile. And when you don't get paid enough to smile, it's like it hurts to fake smile than it is to have a real one, because most people, you're like, oh, hi, how are you? You give them all that energy and then they give you half energy back. And it's like, it takes a lot to do that. But it's just like, would you work for free for your hobby, knowing that you love to do it, knowing that it makes you happy, knowing that you can smile, you can talk about it all day, you have so much to talk about, that it inspires somebody else to do the same thing that you're doing, and you're making an impact not for yourself but for other people, and you're just enjoying yourself, you're smiling, you're laughing. Like me, sometimes I'm at work and I'm bored, as you can imagine. I'm just staring at a wall. There's nobody around to help that needs help, so I'm just staring. But I have to entertain myself. And how do I entertain myself at a boring job? Well, I either go to my coworkers and I either crack a joke, or I'll, try and prank them a bit. And sometimes they're just not feeling it because they just been there all day. They don't want to be bothered, and they just don't want to be bothered. So that's why I kind of back away from trying to entertain my employees. I'll try to make them laugh, or I'll try to talk about life, like how's everything. I ask them what do they want to do for a living, and sometimes they tell me what they want to do, but like sometimes they just don't want to be bothered. So like, what do I have to do? I have to just pull out my phone, scroll on Instagram, find like a funny video to watch and laugh at it, or I'll go on YouTube, go on Paramount Plus, and I'll watch SpongeBob from season 1 to season 4, because those are the funniest episodes with the funniest jokes and the funniest cartoon that I could find that it can entertain me. But it's just like most people are working zombies. They're literally in the matrix. Like, and let me explain to you what the matrix is. The matrix is you are wanting to do something outside of the norm, as in you are stuck somewhere for either 8 hours, or you're feeling stuck regardless of however your situation is. And you want to escape the 9 to 5 because you know it's not for you, but you have no choice but to stay in there as long as you can because it pays your bills. But it doesn't even really pay your bills because you're still struggling financially after your bills are paid. And you want to leave, but you can't leave. So now you're stuck between, oh, I want to chase my dreams, but now I need money to chase my dreams. So guess what? I have to stay at this 9 to 5 that even though I don't like it, but I still have to continue to do it because it pays the bills. And it gets to a point where the matrix becomes so brutal to the point where it's like you're it's almost like you're in a hamster. You're a hamster in a hamster wheel, and you're just running in circles. You're running, running, running. You might take a break for like 2 seconds. Those are your 2 days off for 2 seconds. Then you're running, running, and there's no excitement. Like you're just going to work, clock in. Especially if you have an office desk job, you're just staring at a screen all day. You have no music. You're just typing away, and then when you clock out for the day, you go home. Then you drive in that traffic to get to that job. And then you come home you got to go through traffic again to come back home. And it's like, nobody wants to live a life like that where you're just repeating the same thing over and over again. And that's what the Matrix is. And the only way to escape the Matrix is to find a hobby that you can see yourself doing for the rest of your life for free, that it can make you want to be something else. You have to want to be somebody else. You want to have to accept the fact that people are not going to accept what you are going to do. You have to accept the fact that you are in charge of your life and nobody's going to take charge of you. Most people have bosses that are just complete, just unreasonable people. I don't want to say the word, but they're unreasonable people. You have to put in time off requests, and sometimes they might get denied because they need you at work. And that's where your freedom is literally at stake because like you're just working, working, working nonstop for a paycheck that's not even there. Taxes comes out of your paycheck, so all that taxes could have been in your paycheck is now gone. Now you got to eat all the other expenses. So that's why people need to just want to work for free, because if you work for free, at least it gives you life. It gives you life. Do you could do what you want in your free time that you do have, and hopefully that free time can make you rich. You're rich because you get to do what you love. It makes you happy. You're rich because you get to share it with people and you can make them happy. You're rich because you don't have a boss on your neck telling you what to do, and if you don't do it right, then you can't get fired because you don't have a job. The only downside to doing your hobby is that you just don't get paid enough. And that's why I feel like I would rather have a hobby that I could do. And most people, they are willing to lose sleep to chase their dreams because they just know how worth it is for their dreams to become true. Because once your dreams become true, that means that you've accomplished something way more than just a paycheck. Most people, they get paid every Friday. They look forward to Fridays because they get paid. Why? It's because they've been working all week and now they feel like they can afford to either pay a bill or they feel like they can afford to buy what they want. And when they buy what they want, it gives them satisfaction. But why not give yourself satisfaction by just doing your hobby? Most people, they look towards the weekend. They only look forward to the weekend because maybe that's their 2 days off from work, so they just get the rest and not think about work and they get to short off. But then once Sunday night comes, they're like, oh, they're in bed. Oh, I gotta go to work again. So now they gotta have a whole nother 5 days of 40 hours to go deal with the whole thing that they just did again. And now they just start to, their face, it starts to show off in their face. First they get aggravated, first they get sad, and then they start feeling depressed and they start feeling stressed out because they want to leave, but they can't because they're tied to money. And that's why if you're too attached to money, it'll literally stop you from chasing your dreams. Like, it's like if you treat your dreams like it's a business, if your business fails, you don't make enough money, you end up quitting your dreams. But then if you treat it as a hobby, it might be able to pay you one day to the point where you can leave your job and do your hobby full time. It's not a job. Your hobby is not a job because it doesn't pay you like one. But your hobby can change your perspective on life so that you're not just living for somebody else's enjoyment, because there The billion-dollar companies out there, they get paid and they don't pay you. Why not pay yourself? Thank you for watching this video and have a great day.